Hi everyone, welcome to Live Chat Tuesday, number 19, with my guest, Miss Connie of Just Another Stitch.
Hello, everyone.
Today is Tuesday, the 24th of August, and let's see, I was going to talk about a couple of things and I completely forgot. So, I do have a tutorial for the wind spinner coming up. That will probably be uploaded today. And Friday, I will be going live at 2 p.m. Central Time, and I have Darla from the Crafty Yarn Owl with Darla. She'll be live with me. And then the following Tuesday, next week, is Gina from the Knitting Turnpike. So, yay! And on the 31st, me and Stephanie of Life and Stitches are cowl ends for the mosaic bag. So we will be picking a winner for each of our groups and on the 31st. So if you want to participate, you still have 6, 7 days left. So there's time to finish a little bag.
So you're
All right.
changing the time of your live on Fridays.
Just to work around Darla's schedule because
Okay.
she couldn't do anything in the evening, like at 6:30 my time. So yeah, Friday I'm going live a little earlier because I had to work around her schedule, which is
Sorry,
fine.
I don't know why I'm coughing already. Normally it's like at the end of the live when
Yeah. Well, it's okay. I mean, maybe the pollen and allergies are a lot more higher than normal.
could be.
Yeah. Well, so far I do not see anybody in here, but I guess we'll just wait. I know it takes a few minutes, so.
I forgot to post it in my group.
So did I. I forgot to post it in mine. Been
I
a crazy
usually
morning.
I usually try to post your lives in my group, but and actually Monday I forgot to post mine and my own in my group.
Yeah, I scheduled the last, I think last 7, so in weeks in advance. So I forget to post them in my groups. Well, hello, Lisa. Welcome in. Finally, somebody.
Hello, hello, my ET loving friend.
How are you today, Miss Lisa?
She'll probably tell us to be good.
I love how you say that, Lisa. I do. You sound just like ET when you say it. Be good. I don't do it as good as she does, but yep. And I saw your little mosaic bag. You're doing very well, Lisa. I told you you could do it. She was worried that she wouldn't get it done, but she's looks like you're halfway through it. So that's awesome. I think you have plenty of time to finish.
Go, Lisa, go.
And she's working from home and she's multitasking. So, Connie, what all are you working on currently?
The same old, same old. Working on my shawl, the cable and lace knitted shawl, which I'm probably going to get it finished today if I start working on it. Oops, Crystal disappeared on us. Crystal, come back. Hi, Brenda. How are you today? Crystal disappeared on me. But anyway, I'm trying to finish up my cable and lace knitted shawl. And then I'm going to start working on another knitted shawl. And this one will be my first time knitting a shawl with number one weighted yarn. And then with crochet, I'm still working on my hooded poncho. And after I finish that, I think I am going to work on designing an alien beanie for crochet, because I've been getting a lot of people saying that they love the alien beanie, but they don't know how to knit. So I decided I'm going to try to design it in knitting. I mean, in crochet. And then of course there's my temperature blanket, the never-ending project.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because it said something like my audio was not, my microphone was disabled, and I'm like, well, I had to refresh the whole page, so I don't know. Hi, Brenda. Welcome in. You have already finished the other. She was my tester for my pocket shawl, and then after she finished that, she tested the triangle shawl, and she's already finished it. She's already finished both of those. I am
Quick.
amazed. So
She's quick. And that's one reason why I didn't say that I would test it, because I know I'm pokey.
Well, I didn't give a time frame. I did not say, okay, have it done in 2 weeks or a month and a half. I just said, the basic, just look for misspelled words, different wrong stitch count, stuff like that, and yeah, she does rock. And you're very welcome, Brenda. And I'm going to show the picture of the triangle shawl on Thursday. It is amazing, and she used a Yarn Bee Dazzling, very, very pretty. Hey, Gina, welcome in.
Hi, Gina.
So how is everybody today? Excuse me.
Lisa's being good.
Oh, y'all want to see my new coffee cup?
Ooh, pretty. I like it.
Momo got a bunch of these at Dollar General half price. They were originally $1, but she got them for 50 cents. And I go, oh, can I have one? I love it. It's so pretty. It's my new favorite coffee cup.
I had ordered this. It was a beautiful coffee mug too. It was one of the like aluminum ones, kind of great. It helped keep your beverage hot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was dark blue with flowers, and it had Be Still on it. And I love this cup. And I spent like $20 on it. And I don't normally spend that much money on a coffee cup. And somehow I lost the cup. I do not know what happened to it. But like at first I thought I must have left it at church. But I called like the church office and they didn't find it. It's like looked all over. To this day I have not found it. And it's been like a year now.
Wow.
Well, over a year. My poor coffee cup.
Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, and at one time I had a Diva coffee mug. It said the Diva on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it broke. It was in the dish drain, and I had too much in the dish drain, and it vibrated off, and
Oh,
it broke.
no.
I like playing dish Jenga.
There was a coffee cup one time. It was huge, and it was like had black and red hearts on it, and it was a gift from Mama from Valentine's. I still have it, but it's got a crack down the side of it, and I can't use
Oh,
it. But I kept it just because she had given it to me. And then I have another cup that's has it's Doctor Who themed, and when there's no liquid in it, on one side it shows the TARDIS sitting on like a street, and then when you put hot liquid on it, on the other side, well, the TARDIS on the street disappears, but on the other side it appears in space. So it's like it dematerialized and materialized in space. So
cool.
I love that cup, but I don't use it very often.
You know what I need? An alien coffee cup.
Well, do you want to go ahead and ask the first question?
Okay. Would you prefer a bad haircut or a bad dye job? I think I would go with the bad dye job because you can just always recolor your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Where with a bad haircut, it's not like you can really fix that
True.
unless you know how to cut your own hair. But I know I don't know how to. And and then too, if it's like messed up where it's like too short, you really can't fix it.
Yep, that is
But
true.
I know one time when I was in the Navy, I had I think I had used sun in my hair, and then I had colored my hair like a I think it was like a strawberry blonde color, and in certain lighting it kind of looked pink. And I get called in like this is whenever I was in A school in the Navy. It was kind of like the principal's office. I can't remember what it was called. And they telling me something about my hair that they think it looks pink, and I'm like, it's not pink. And they're like, you need to color it to get it out. So I go and I color my hair again, and like my poor hair was so like dry because I had been coloring it too much.
Yeah. I know that all too well. There was one time I had dyed my hair. I did not like the color, so I waited like a day or two thinking that would be okay. Well, it kind of like fried it really bad. It made it really dry. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not dyeing my hair that close together. So I wait at least until my roots get about an inch or two long before I dye it again because I got frizzy hair anyway. So and it breaks like crazy. So I don't want to damage it even further. And coping, Miss Lisa says a bad dye job. I think today's going to be a slow day. Um, but that's fine. So I have been working on, I made the tutorial that I did that I'm going to upload later today for the wind spinner. I made that one, and then the one I showed in my video yesterday, I made that one, and I have one, the pieces already cut out to make another one. I am like loving making those wind spinners. It's fun. It's really fun.
They're
Hey,
pretty.
welcome in.
Hi, Kelly.
And I found a new way to do a tutorial. Okay, this is awesome because it worked out so great. Usually I have a little bitty stand like that holds my phone. And then I face it outward and my hands are right in front of it. Well, for this wind spinner, it was too close to do it that way. So I found a different tripod and I set it on the floor, kind of like in the area I'm sitting in. There's a table over here. And I had a selfie stick that screws onto the tripod. And it worked perfect for the tutorial. It's like it filmed downward at my hands, so it worked out great for the tutorial.
I may have to try to get me a selfie stick and see if that works for me.
Make sure it has the tripod screw-in connection, like the little nut hole or bolts or whatever it is. I'll send you a picture of what it looks like.
Okay.
Or I'll show you after the live. And I found that selfie stick at a garage sale for 50 cents. I was like, oh, I could use that somehow for a tutorial. And it did. It worked. It came in handy so well.
Because I always feel like I'm hugging my tripod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the last tutorial that I did, I had to prop it up on a book to get it up a little higher so I wouldn't be so close to the camera. And it was like, to me it's too close filming. But yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that I find with my camera. When I'm close, it seems like it has trouble focusing as good.
Yeah. Coping with yarn, her name is Lisa Kelly. And it's okay. I mean, I'm still learning people's names here on YouTube too, so. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and ask him a question. Are you a glass half full or a glass half empty type of person? I guess it kind of just depends on the situation. A lot of these are kind of like, it depends on the situations when you ask this or that type questions. But also, I think overall, I'm more of like a I can't think of the dang word. I'm like the glass half empty. I'm looking at everything that's bad. Not a procrastinator. That's not the word. I can't think of it. What about you, Connie?
I'm more of a glass half full because I, I find that it's better to look at things positively because when you're more negative, it brings you down. It just doesn't make you feel good. And a lot of times too, I think those around you get affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
Because typically, do you prefer to be around someone positive or negative?
Sure.
And that's one thing. Like Frank is bad for being half the glass half empty, and
Yeah.
it drives me crazy because I'm like, stop being so negative.
Pessimist. Yes, that was the word. I try to be more positive these days, but sometimes with all the stuff that gets thrown at you in life, it's kind of hard. I've had a hard life in my past, so it's kind of made me more of a pessimist. but I try to still be optimistic and hopeful. Hey, Miguel, welcome in.
Hey, Miguel.
Aw, he's uploading a video of his flock eating a watermelon. We give them
Aw.
watermelons too as treats every once in a while. Coping says she sees things half full, and Kelly says half full because I'm at least a half. I have half a glass as opposed to an empty glass. And Lisa says my husband is half empty too.
And
Well,
I
right now I have a full cup of coffee.
and I think one thing where I'm more the half full, because I used to be more negative whenever I was younger. But
Yeah.
like whenever I was hospitalized like 7 years ago, it really changed how I viewed things because I had gotten really sick with my diastolic dysfunction. And I mean, I could barely walk. I couldn't do hardly anything. And it was like I felt like I got my life back, you know, where, once they found out what was wrong with me and they started pumping out that fluid, it made a huge difference. And, so I don't take things for granted like I used to.
That is good, Connie. Hey, Angela, welcome in.
Hey, Angela.
She says, hi, Crystal and Connie, and everyone in the chat. How are you doing today? I am doing fine today. Just about done with my daughter's top, and she's drinking water. I bet the top's going to be pretty. I'm doing good. I'm glad you're doing fine too. And I'm drinking coffee, and I have a bottle of water, so.
I got my cup of water.
You want to go ahead and ask another question?
Okie dokie. Would you prefer a pineapple pizza or candy corn? Which I don't like either one. But if I had to pick, I would go with the pineapple pizza because I could pick the pineapple off. Where candy corn, there's nothing you can do to make candy corn better. How
That
about
is
you,
true.
Crystal?
I would probably pick pineapple pizza. Um, I do actually like the Hawaiian pizza with the pineapple and Canadian bacon, and I just prefer pepperoni pizza and cheese pizza over a Hawaiian, but I do like them. And Lisa says candy corn. Yeah, candy corn to me is too sweet.
It's like candy corn, peeps. Those two are just so sugary.
Mm-hmm. Kelly says, me either, Connie, because just walking through the grocery store is impossible. So if I can get a day that I can do that, then I am so thankful. That is true. And Kelly also says, I love pineapple on the chicken club pizza. Yeah, I've been trying to think of something that I can do Halloween themed, like crochet something Halloween themed. Since it's just around the corner. So, and I love Halloween.
You can make some beanies,
Some what?
beanies, hats.
Oh, beanies. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta like once it I'm getting tongue tied. Once October hit, I got so many Halloween beanies that I made last year that I'll be bringing out. I'll probably have a different Halloween hat on almost every day of the month.
That's a neat idea, Kelly. A cloak. Yeah. I actually made one. I was what was it? Um, I made one by sewing different pieces of like a house house coat and an old shirt. So I made the sleeves, and it was like colors that weren't really well together. And I had just got into sewing with sewing machine, and it was I think around like when I was like 16 or 17 years old, and I had made a cloak. But I'd love to crochet one. That would be cool.
You can make a ghost amigurumi.
I've thought about that too. Yeah. I thought about making, the traditional black cat, like where it's arched back, and the tail going straight up. I thought about doing something like that. Welcome back, Brenda.
You can make a Jack Skellington beanie.
Yeah, that would be something.
I made one of those last year.
And then every year at Halloween, we also, well, mostly me. I like to carve pumpkins. So I know I'll be doing pumpkins this year. I do them every year.
One year I had gotten a pumpkin and I took some yarn and I glued it on top of the pumpkin to make it look like the pumpkin had hair.
Yeah, I think last year I did a cat face and I think a body of the cat. I don't remember. I want to try to do something. I have like a book of the cutouts where you would stencil it on and then cut it out. I want to try a couple of the more detailed ones, but I don't know if I'm good enough to do all those details. That's the thing. I always stick to simple, but I want to try to do some intricate pumpkins this year. I think that would be interesting.
I am coughing like crazy today.
I bet it's the allergies and the pollen and all that. I thought about that too, Kelly. And make a big traditional witch hat that I could wear. I,
I
I
did a
don't know how I'd get it to stand up though.
I did a knitted witch's hat last year.
Oh, that's neat.
And then I have this pattern saved somewhere where it's a crochet I think a crochet witch's hat kind of with like a kitty face on it.
Oh.
It's so cute. I want to make that eventually.
Um, I guess I could starch the heck out of it, and make it stand up. Okay, is it your turn to ask the question?
I think it's your turn, but I'm not positive.
I know I've lost. I always lose track. Okay. I'll just ask one. Do you eat ketchup or ranch? Or I guess, which one do you prefer? Ketchup or ranch? Um, and I guess it depends on what you're eating it on, you know, really. If you're eating fries, some people. All right, Miguel, thanks for stopping in. Be
Bye,
safe.
Miguel.
Um,
Hey, Julie.
hey, Julie, welcome in. I guess it also depends. Like, if you're eating fries, do you want ketchup or ranch? Because I know different people that will dip it in ranch and not ketchup, and then I know some people use ketchup and don't like ranch. Or pizza, I used to put dip ranch in. I mean, like, have ranch on the side and dip my pizza in it. So it just depends on what you're eating. But like, if I'm eating French fries, I would rather have ketchup. If I'm eating pizza, it already has tomato sauce on it, so I'd rather dip it in ranch. What about you?
Ketchup. Definitely ketchup. And like I used to be horrible with ketchup. Like I would I would use like 8 containers, you know, like when you could put them in the little cups.
Hmm.
I get like 8 containers when I got burgers and fries. And also like I'll dip like my hamburger in ketchup a lot of times too. I like ketchup a lot, way too much. When it comes to ranch, I only really use it to dip like carrots or celery in.
Okay.
Um, and I'm weird, like I won't use ranch salad dressing on a salad.
Yeah. I like Caesar dressing or oh, what is that? I can't even think of it. Um,
Thousand Island.
Something like that. Thousand Island or the I can't think of it. It's something similar to Thousand Island, but it's slightly different.
Mm,
I think it's red. Catalina, I think maybe.
yeah, I like Catalina. Hi, Isla.
Hi, Isla. Okay. Julie says barbecue sauce for fries and deep fried cheese curd. She uses ranch. Kelly says I dip my fries in ranch, mayo, and ketchup. Not all together though. Lisa says ranch with pizza, fries with barbecue sauce mixed with ranch. And Julie likes marinara sauce with pizza. And Isla says you can stip and crochet with Mod Podge. I did not realize that. That's interesting. I've used that on puzzles to seal them, make them one big, like so I can hang it on the wall. Julie says catsup on eggs. I like hot sauce on my eggs or mixed in before. Like, I'll take Tabasco sauce, and as I'm whipping the eggs in the bowl, I'll put in the Tabasco so it mixes in. It cooks out all the heat and leaves just the flavor of the Tabasco. Um, Kelly says, I like cheese sticks dipped in ranch. Julie says, veg dip with ranch, dill, or onion dip. Uh, Sorry I didn't say hi. I was anti flowers with puffy paint. Okay. Julie says Russian or Catalina. In an omelet, I use pecani sauce. Yeah. Well, that's not too hot, not like Tabasco or Louisiana hot sauce. So pecani, I'll put on top of the eggs. But when I want something really hot, I mix it in with the eggs so it cooks out some of the heat and leaves some of it, but mostly it cooks in the flavor of the hot sauce. So Julie says I can't take the heat. Neither can I. I used to when I was about 10 years younger, but it messes with my stomach now. The heat does gives me real bad acid reflux. So I have to be very careful with hot sauce. Um, my brother, I saw where Coping says Frank's hot sauce. He will eat ramen and he'll take Tony Chachere's, and he don't like it like a soup, like with the juice. He'll take and mix, like pour out the juice and put the seasoning packet directly on it. Put Frank's Red hot sauce, Tony Chachere's seasoning, and whatever little other else like salt and pepper, and he'll mix it just on the noodles and eat it that way. I'm like, good Lord. And then Coping says, I like Frank's hot sauce and sriracha. I like sriracha on my Subway sandwiches. And Julie has acid reflux too. Yeah. I remember getting it when I was like 6 years old, and I'm like, what's this cold spot in my throat? I didn't know what it was. It felt cold, but it was actually a burning sensation going up my throat. Coping says, yum. Julie says, oh, wow, I like the broth too with the ramen. I love the broth with the ramen. I can't eat it just noodles like my brother does. Um, I gotta have the broth. You want to go ahead and ask another question?
Okay. Would you prefer talking pets or talking babies? And I'm pretty sure y'all know how I'm going to answer this question. Of course, talking pets. I want to know what my cats are thinking. Granted, now Allie scares me. Like, I'm scared to know what she's thinking sometimes. Especially when she starts growling and hissing.
Mm-hmm.
So how about you, Crystal?
I would also say the same thing, talking pets. If I could talk to Tom and Oreo, I think that would be awesome. I mean, I talk to them now like they're regular, like they understand me. But um, it will be wonderful if they could just talk back. And Lisa says talking pets. Julie says talking pets. And she says, Karma, use your big words. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud.
And Allie does not like the S word. And the S word is Sophie.
She could be jealous of Sophie.
I think she is. And there's even levels where you can see that Sophie gets jealous of Allie sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Because I think the same thing about Oreo with Tom, because I give him more affection than her. She don't like to be petted. Like if I start petting her and she don't want me to, she turns around and bites the heck out of me. Sometimes hard, like she's mad, like trying to tear my hand off. So I pet her when she wants petting. And Tom, he will take petting 24/7 if he could. He loves it. So I pet him more, and he loves it. but I'll catch her looking at me petting him, and she looks like she's glaring at me, like, how dare you pet him? But she don't like the petting, so I mean, what am I supposed to do?
And that's the thing because Sophie will just come plop on me. Sophie's a very, very lovable cat. And Allie does not plop on you often. I mean, now if you go up to Allie, she'll usually let you pet her. But as far as like her coming by you or plopping on you, she doesn't do it that often. Which right now she actually is on the arm of the chair in the living room.
Aw.
So like when me and Frank are sitting in that chair, she's right there.
Aw. Isla says, one of my dogs barks straight at my face like he's getting his point across. And I have no idea what he is saying to me. Oh, that's so cute, even though it might be loud. But yeah. And Tom sometimes will be like real talkative, like meow, 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 meow. And I'm like, what? And he's looking at me like meow, meow, meow. And I'm like, what? I don't know what you want.
Sophie has her little meowing spells. Allie doesn't meow much.
My cat Itzy was like that. She was very, very quiet.
And
She
when
didn't weird
Allie
me out.
meows, it's very low. I
Mm.
always tell her her meower is broken.
Kelly says my dog is so jealous. If anyone sit close to me, he will get between us and shove them away. My goodness. Oh, that's funny. My mom had a dog, um, and I think the dog's name was Baby. And I also had a cat named Baby too. But it was so attached to her. I mean, every room that she, like, say if she get up from her room and go to the next room, it would follow her in there. It would always be at her feet. If she was at the kitchen cooking something, doing something, this dog was like, when she would leave the house and couldn't go, she was whining like I mean, until she got back. So it's interesting. If I am petting Happy, Dexter will push Happy out of the way. Oh. And then I had this one other cat one time. His name, the cat named Baby. I had him 8 years, and when in the last like 2 years of his life, he got more affectionate. Like he would sit with me more, let me pet him more, purr more. Um, but when he was younger, he liked to be petted, but he didn't like to be held or sit in my lap. But he would come and lay on my bed at night with me, um, which he was a Burman. I think he was a Burman semi-long haired. Kind of looks like a Himalayan, but different. And he was so pretty. Everybody thought it was a female cat. That's how pretty it was, and it was a boy. I mean, but he was one of a kind too. I could take a piece of paper and curl it up into a ball, throw it. He'd run after it and bring it back to me. He would play fetch. That was interesting. And when he passed away, I buried him with a little paper ball. Laugh out loud, Lisa. If I'm petting my little dog, the big one will come sit on her until she goes away. um, But my cat Itsy, she was the runt of her litter, and she was so small. I mean, teeny tiny. That's why I called her Itsy, because it was kind of like I thought itsy bitsy spider, and so that's kind of how I came up with her name, Itsy. But I spelled it Itzee instead of Isty, or however you say Itsy. Itsy bitsy, But that was kind of her nickname, Itsy bitsy. Um, she was one of a kind too. She would, when she wanted to be held, just like a little kid. I kid you not. She would put her little paws on my leg, like pick me up, and she would headbutt me. And she would like do like that with her head, and she cracked my nose one time because she hit me so hard, and you could hear the crunch. Bye, Lisa.
Bye,
Thank you for
Lisa.
coming in. But one of my friends one time was taking care of Itsy for me, and I went to go pick her up from her house, and I was holding her, and she started purring, and she goes, "Did she just headbutt you?" I go, "Yeah, that's how she says hello, and she loves me." She goes, "That is strange. I've never seen that before." I go, "She's the only cat I've ever had do that."
That
And
reminds me. One time, me and Frank were at the zoo, and he starts petting on this goat, and this goat loved him. I mean,
oh.
she was just eating it up. So I go to try to pet the goat. All the goat wanted to do to me was headbutt me. That that goat was in love with Frank.
That's funny. We used to have goats. Um, we, I don't know if I've ever told this story or not, but we had this one female goat, and she had babies. She had three, um, I guess they're called kids. I can't remember. It's been 97 when that goat was born, so that's been over 20 years. Anyway, um, it was so funny. This goat had just got born, and the mother, it was kind of sick, so we knew a lady that lived right around the corner that raised goats, knew more about them, took him to her. He got better, came back about a week or 2 weeks later, and the mama didn't want nothing to do with it, so
Oh,
we fed it off a bottle. And it got to the point I could let it out of the pen, and it would follow me around like a dog, like a little puppy. We had this bench that the goats would stand on, and I sat there and I would lay down. It would sit on my stomach. It would lay down on my stomach, and it was a little bitty thing. And he would just follow me around like a little dog. He loved me, and um and then he died at 4 months of pneumonia. But he was black with white ears, and he had little brown little spots right here, and little bitty horns that we had debudded or something, so the horns didn't grow out. And that was the time when Dragonheart was popular, the movie, and I thought I would name him Draco after the dragon, because that he kind of reminded me, like with the little things here and the little horns, and he kind of reminded me of Draco. So that was his name. But I remember we would, any potato peeling scraps or whatever, we would give those to the goats, and they would eat all our scraps. Yes, baby goats are adorable. I have a picture of him somewhere, and I don't know where, but I know I have a picture of him somewhere. And the neat thing was, I was in fourth grade when he was born, And I think when he was about 2 months old, we got permission. My grandfather had brought him to the school for show and tell one time. And
Oh.
he fed a bottle to him in front of the class. And then the goat peed on the floor. But everybody loved him. And it was so cool. I've been wanting another goat in the last, I think, 2 years, but they are expensive, and we don't really have a place to keep them. So we would have to build a little barn type thing for them. But I keep telling Mama, well, we could uh, put it in the pasture, and then he could just eat the grass. Then you wouldn't have to mow or get a female and get milk from it, and then we could make goat cheese or drink goat milk. And but yeah, they're kind of expensive to care for. You've got to give them medicine all the time and different stuff. I don't even know what all my grandfather did, but I know he kept tabs on everything that he did for all the goats. Anyway, okay. So, did you ask a question after I asked the ketchup or ranch?
I think I was the last one to ask because it was talking pets or talking
Oh yeah,
babies,
that's right.
and then we
That's right.
started talking about pets.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so the next question I have, whether it's books or movies or games or anything like that, when you sort them, do you sort by alphabet or by genre? Movies, I sort by genre, but books, depending on what it is. If it's a series of books, I go in order like one through whatever. And then, but if it's not a series, it's just kind of like by genre, I guess.
I would do by alphabet.
Welcome back, Brenda. And Julie says, how often are they used? So I guess she sorts them by how often they're used. The most used would be first, I guess. Kelly goes, book by author. Games don't care, just stack them. And movies by genre. Now, my movies I do by genre, but also sometimes put them alphabetically. Like if I have a whole bunch of horror movies uh, that go in the horror movie category, I would do them kind of like alphabetically um, within the genre filing. But
But that kind of reminds me when I worked at a doctor's office. I worked in
mm-hmm.
medical records, and they would have helpers sometimes that they would hire during like the summer and stuff. Well, there was this one helper, and this girl was like really, really smart. But poor girl, she lacked common sense. So like when she would file, you know how on medical charts they usually put like the stickers along the side,
Mm-hmm.
and I think like it was like the first three of the last name and then the first two of the first name. Well, she filed according to the stickers only. So like say the last name was Thompson. She did it THO. So like the charts were like all out of order when she would file. Because it's like, you're supposed to follow by the whole last name first.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
And it
Brenda.
was, and it was like people weren't able to find charts. And this was actually like, there were basically two doctor's offices in one, where I worked on one side, but she tended to follow the charts for the other side. And it was like they couldn't find their chart. And I finally, it's like I started noticing what she was doing.
Well, that's kind of crazy.
And the thing was that the doctor on that side especially, he had to have that chart. He would
Mm-hmm.
like go on a rampage if they couldn't find a chart. And it was like,
Brenda says, I sort by series and or order of series and episode number. Well, do you want to ask another question?
okie dokie. Da-da-da-da. Would you rather win the lottery or find your soulmate? Well, I already have my soulmate, the biscuit. So I would go and win the lottery. And then I would have a urine house.
Yep.
How about you, Crystal?
Um. Well, I'd rather just win the lottery and buy a house where I can have my pets. I'd rather not mess with the soulmate because technically I think my pets are my soulmates in a different way, not romantic, but they're like my family soulmates. So I'd rather just keep my animals and win the lottery. Kelly says lottery, but who would not love to win the lottery anyway?
Exactly.
Oh. Brenda says, I guess lottery because I have also already found my soulmate. Then I could afford a place for all the critters I want to take in. Yep. There was this tiny house that I saw on YouTube. It was uh, like an ultra modern tiny house or something, and it was like 28 feet by 14 by I can't remember, but it was bigger than a normal tiny house, and it was so neat. I mean, it had solar panels, it had windows all around it. It looked like it had been made out of like a storage container, but I don't think it was. But it was really really neat. It had a behind the house. It had a pen for their two cats. It was like completely like a dome that was like wire mesh that they could see out to look at everything, but they'd be protected from any harm. And there is a little tunnel that goes up under um, the house and comes up through the house, and the cats could go inside that way. I thought that was so cool. I was like, man, that's neat. And Kelly says, I think my pit bull is my soulmate. Oh, yeah, some animals are just destined to be in our lives, I believe. That's why I call Tom and Oreo my soulmates. More Tom because he's just like I said previously before in a different live. I had raised him and got him from the gutter, not gutter, culvert at the end of the driveway, one house over. And it took me 2 weeks. And he followed me back home because I would give a little bit of food. He was feral, I mean, real wild. And he was maybe 12 weeks old. And one day I just heard a cat meowing, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And so I walked over, and I thought it was in the bushes across the street. Come to find out, it's a little kitten in the culvert. And I'm like, so I would go out there once a day for 2 weeks and give him some food so he didn't starve. And one day he followed me home, which was not far, but he followed me home, and he stayed. And then it took another week to tame him. And once he learned what petting was, that was it. He he stole my heart. I was gonna get him tame and then find him a home. He never left. He stole my heart, and so I kept him.
Allie, we got when she was like 3 weeks old. We had to bottle feed her.
Oh,
That's why she's my little partner. And I think that's another reason why she's like she is. Because she's very skittish.
Julie says. Oh wait. Brenda says, I like the idea of a tiny house, but we have a huge organ in the front room and other music gear that just wouldn't fit. Yeah, my mom was obsessed with tiny houses for a while. So when I saw that video, I kind of watched it because it said most modern tiny house ever will blow your mind. And so it caught my eye. And I'm like, okay, I got to watch this. So I watched it and I sent it to my mom. Isla
Or
says, every time I won the lottery when I met my soulmate.
uh, or have you seen this like the school buses that they turn into homes?
Hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. Julie says this cat jumped on the porch and went right to my son. Wait, didn't I missed comment from her a second ago. Okay. My son was on the porch grieving the loss of Ghost, their cat. He did not want another, and I said, the cat chooses you, not the other way around. That is true. We seen a cat, hollered out, hey, furball, human available. This cat jumped on the porch and went right to my son. He started to rub his head on my son's chest. Oh, my son said, come on. This cat followed him upstairs, ate, and climbed into bed with him. That is so cool. He never left. We called him Karma. Oh, it was meant to be. Oh, that makes me want to cry. That's so beautiful. Kelly says, we got our pet squirrel Muffin because it ran up my little brother's leg when we were outside playing. It was a tiny baby squirrel. Oh, Julie, that is so true. Our elderly cat was chosen by my husband, but he has become my cat because he is always with me. Aw.
But speaking of squirrels, whenever I was stationed at Great Lakes, Illinois, I was walking to the galley, which is basically a cafeteria, and like there was a garbage can on the side of me, and a squirrel jumps out of the garbage can on me. But then, like right away, it jumped off. I mean, scared me like no tomorrow.
Wow. We don't have many squirrels where we live, like around our house, but there's a lot in town. We live about 15 minutes from town, but we saw one squirrel, I think about 2 years ago, and haven't seen it since. We saw it like 2 or 3 times, and then that was it. It's like somewhere in this area, but we don't see many out here.
We get a lot of squirrels in our yard.
I
And
love
it's kind
watching
of
squirrels.
funny because, like, I don't live in an area where you would think, like, we would get all these animals like we do in our yard. But it's like squirrels. Then there's an owl that hangs around a tree around our house. I don't know if it's our tree or like one of the neighbors' trees. But yeah, you'll hear an owl hooting sometimes. Then there's a woodpecker. Then we've seen ducks flying in the trees.
Mhm.
Um, we found turtles in the yard too sometimes.
Yeah. I think we have rabbits around here, which we do have rabbits. Um, Tom had caught a baby rabbit, I think, a couple of months ago, and I saved it from him, but it still ended up dying. It really, I thought he had like a mouse or something, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, pitch black, and I'm out there trying to get this thing from Tom, which I did save a very tiny little mouse from him one time, and it lived, but the rabbit did not. It crushed my spirit
Oh,
because I was so upset that he got that rabbit. It was just a baby. It didn't even get to live long.
we used to have rabbits. We had Howie, which was a big white one,
Oh.
and like, but like him, you couldn't really hold him and stuff. He'd freak out on you. But he was cool to watch. Like you'd feed him like like vegetables, and I mean, where he was, and then we had three smaller ones: Dusty, Midnight, and I can't remember the third one's name offhand. They'll probably come to me later.
Yeah.
And these were like small rabbits. I don't know what breed and all that, but like we had them on our front porch. And one time we found them out, like someone had opened their cages, and we found them around our yard. So we put them back in the cage, and we really should have been suspicious at that point. So then, about a week later, Howie passed away.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if someone did something to him or if it was like natural causes. Then, about a week later, all three of the other rabbits were gone.
Hmm.
And and the sad thing, for quite a while, me and Frank didn't want pets after that happened.
Yeah.
My poor
They're kind
bunny.
of, yeah. I had a bunny one time. I got it from a pet store, and for the first couple of days it was okay. It would let me pet it and everything, but I didn't mess with them too often. So he turned wild again on me. Um, and I had him a year, and then um, found him dead in his cage one day. And he stayed outside by our. We had chickens back then, and we had a either it was a raccoon or a possum or something coming, a fox, bobcat. I don't remember. I know we seen a lot of different animals when we had the goats. We would see deer, we would see a bobcat, we'd see possums, raccoons, all that kind of stuff, fox. But something was getting our chickens at one point, and then I found my rabbit dead one time, and
Oh,
uh, it didn't appear to be like anything got it. So I mean, I think I was like 13, 12 or 13 when it died, but yeah, it was just up one day. I guess it was natural causes. I don't know. Maybe something scared it. You know, they got real faint hearts. So do chickens, I've heard. Um, let's see. Uh, Kelly says when the squirrel got bigger, it would swing from our curtains. Kelly says, Julie, that's so true. Cats definitely choose their human. That is true because my mom had got a kitten, um, I think around 2003 or 2004 for my brother, and it ended up becoming my cat. He would sleep with me. He'd sit in my lap all the time. So he chose me instead. Um, so they do choose their humans.
yeah, because
Brenda
there's
says,
times that I think Sophie's really in love with Frank.
"Aw."
I always joke around and call Sophie his girlfriend.
Brenda says, "Oh, I love squirrels. I rescued a baby one 10 years back when my husband insisted I let the wildlife rehab folks take him in because he was worried that the cat we had would try and eat him." Kelly says, Bear, he's probably right. The cat would probably kill the squirrel. The squirrel get quite a shock when they will chatter at my dog, and they are very surprised when my dog goes up to the tree after them. Brenda says, we also have one that has been hanging around for the past 2 years. I noticed he was hurt with part of its tail missing back then. He survived, and now I call him Stumpy. Aw.
Hey, Mom!
Hey, Mom. Yeah, she fell the other day out of the camper. She
Oh,
didn't break
no.
anything or anything like that, but she's been bruised up. Uh, she hurt her arm. Her left arm is bruised up here. She hurt her right hand fingers. Um, her stomach muscles have been really sore. Her leg, but I'm just glad she didn't break anything.
I remember one time I had fallen down some stairs, and I do not know how I did not hurt myself. Because, I mean, I like totally missed. And like whenever I saw that I was going down, I was like, "Oh no, oh no!" But somehow I was fine after. I did get a big bruise on my leg like the
Hmm.
next day, but that was the only thing. I was like, "Whew."
Yeah. Um, Kelly says, my dog loves to climb the tree. His favorite spot is up in the V, but I'm so afraid he's going to fall. He's very clumsy. Yeah, I can understand that.
Well, we had our cat Izzy. sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we would let her go outside on a leash. And one day she starts going up the tree. And it's like I'm trying to hold on to the leash, but I couldn't. She just kept going. And then it was like, oh no, how am I going to get her down? But finally we got her.
Tom will climb this one tree we have outside. It scares me because I've seen a cat. We had a cat named Jack. That was the one that my mom got from my brother that took to me. Um, he fell one time. We had taken my cat Baby and Jack on a trip to Colorado, and he fell one time out of the second floor. Like it had like a little balcony on the inside, and you could look down. He fell straight down.
Oh,
Um, so and he got hurt, but he was okay. He didn't die from the fall. He didn't have any internal bleeding or anything like that. Um, but I'm always afraid that when Tom gets too playful and runs on those thin branches, I'm always afraid the tree is dying. I mean, it got struck by lightning years ago, so it's starting to die. And those limbs, even the big limbs, are falling out of the trees. I'm afraid he's going to step on one and the whole limb's going to come down and he's going to get hurt or fall out of the tree like Mrs. Footing. I know cats are known for, landing on their feet,
mm-hmm.
but at a real high up height, I don't know if he could. He might break his little legs falling from 20 feet in the air. Um, but we're looking to get that tree cut down. So,
That reminds me of a funny story. Okay, I used to live in these apartments, and my landlord had cats. They were like on the property, and so evidently the cat like got like up in the like attic, I guess, area. And my neighbor, all of a sudden, she had a cat come through her ceiling. You see how you have that loose like tile type ceiling? And
yeah.
that's how it was. The cat fell right through.
My mom says Jack had fell in New Mexico when we stayed in the cabins on the way to Colorado. Yeah. Actually, I thought it was in Golding, Colorado, is where we were at the cabins. Golden, Colorado, or wherever it was. We worry about our older cat when he goes out on the back porch railing. He's clumsy and wobbly in his old age and stumbles just jumping onto the couch or bed. Yeah,
Oh,
I can tell some like Oreos. I think about 6 or 7 years now, and sometimes she'll like go to jump, and it's like okay, where they eat. There's a dresser outside that we keep all like kind of tools and stuff and tie wraps and extra tarps for the chicken pen. Well, anyway, their food is on top of it. Oreo sometimes will jump, try to get up on top, and she don't make it, and then she'll go right back down.
oh, poor baby.
So I can tell she's kind of getting up there. Oh, okay. And Brenda says now he is not allowed out there by himself. Well, I couldn't remember if it was it in Silver City, New Mexico? Is where we stayed in those cabins. We went through Roswell. That was kind of neat.
Aliens.
Yeah, it was. I think I've told this story before, but we were in Roswell, and they had like a like a fun house type thing, but it was scary and you walk through it and it's dark and people jump out at you. Well, me and my brother and my mom went in, and my brother's like 4 or 5 years old, maybe 6. I don't really remember how old he was. But anyway, he was getting so scared that they stopped the whole thing and let us go out. And
Oh,
they said, "Oh, you can come back in." I did not want to go back through that thing myself, by myself. Oh, Kelly, you live close to Roswell. That's cool. My mom says, okay, she's Oreo's grandma, so because she's my mom, so she says grandma picks up Oreo in the morning and puts her up to eat her breakfast because
oh.
she does have trouble sometimes jumping up there, so she picks her up every morning and put her up by her food bowl. Oh, Brenda says, oh, and he has no tail, so he's never been very good with balance. Yeah, cats need their tails for balance, so if he don't have a tail, it'll make his balance off too.
And their whiskers too.
Hmm. Okay, he was 6. My brother was 6 when we went through the thing in Roswell. But he was screaming. I mean, screaming as loud as he could, crying. And so they stopped everything and let us go out, and it was kind of scary. Kelly says, I had my Oreo kitty for 15 years. I sure miss that cat. Wow, 15 years. I had one. His name was Sylvester. He was gray and white. Well, mostly gray, but he had a white chest. Um, partially neck and chest. Uh, he lived to be like 13. So,
Uh-oh.
Hi, Crystal.
Biscuit alert.
hi, Riley.
Just drop by to say hi, ladies.
Yeah, Allie's about, I think, 5, and Sophie's about 4. But Allie likes to fall asleep with her head in her food dish. I don't know why she does that.
That's funny. Kelly and Tammy both say hi to Frank.
Uh-oh, I think he hears that.
And then Julie says,
He's
hey,
coming
Biscuit,
back.
woot, woot, fangirling, temperature rising.
I thought he was coming back, but he's not.
Stormy the Wonder Cat, he makes you wonder how he traded his tail for extra toes on each foot. Now he's 18, still hanging in there. Wow, 18 years old? That's that's amazing.
See, growing up, my sister had a cat that was about 12 years old. Ming.
Mhm.
The cat
Yeah.
didn't like the cat didn't like my brother though. She got her payback.
Yeah, the oldest cat I had, I think, was Sylvester, and he was 12 or 13. And then my cat baby passed away when he was 8. Um, we had another cat that was a boy cat, but we named it Miss Pris. We thought it was a female, and it answered to that, and it was a boy cat. Anyway, we had that one for we don't know how long. It came up, we don't even know how old it was, but it came up one day wild, and it stayed. It stayed for years.
Oh,
Um, and then Itzy was 5, when she went and disappeared on me. I never found out what happened to her. I don't know if she died or if someone picked her up and took her, but I don't think so because she was skittish of other people that she didn't know. So I really don't think somebody took her. Um, but Tom, I think, is fixing to be 3. And I think Oreo is almost 7. So Tom's almost as old as I am. For cat years, anyway. Like the first year of a cat's life equals 9 or 12 human years. And then the second year of a cat's life, it's equal to, no, I think it was like 15 years for 1 human year. The second year of their life, it's 9 years. And then the third year and on, it's 4 years per 1 year after their third year. So he's almost as old as I am. He's like in his mid-20s right now. Brenda says, yep, I'm amazed at how well he is doing considering his age. I've always had cats, but he really is the most loving and needy cat I've ever had. He even walks on a leash like a doggy. Oh, how cute. We tried that with Baby and Jack. They could never get used to the leashes, but we had them like in little harnesses, and they did not like the harnesses. All right. Well, we're almost at a minute. I mean, a minute and a half, an hour and a half in. I'm gonna start wrapping up. I want to let y'all know that on Friday I am not going live at my regular time. It's going to be 2 p.m. Central Time, and I'm going to have Crafty Yarn Out with Darla on my channel. The reason being is I'm trying to work around her schedule at when she can go live. So yeah, it'll be earlier in the day on a Friday than I normally do. So they would just fall over on their side. It's okay, Brenda. Thanks for coming in anyway. I really appreciate it. And you're very welcome. Is there anything like you you would like to say, Connie?
Let's see. I will be filming my Crochet Tuesday video, and that will be uploaded later today. Most of y'all know I have my alien beanie hat released in my Ravelry store, and I do have a giveaway going on. And if you're a content creator, there's a giveaway going on for content creators too, where they can win all 4 of my patterns if they make a video mentioning my beanie and my giveaway. So, like, if you can make a video, I'd really appreciate it. Which I think most of the content creators here have done a video already. But there's that. I still have my 700 subscriber giveaway going on. So if y'all haven't entered, make sure y'all check that out. Oh, and speaking of the alien beanie, which I'm going to mention this today on my Crochet Tuesday video, I am going to try to make a crochet version of it because I've had a lot of people say they really like the hat, but they don't know how to knit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try to see if I can adapt it to crochet. I think I've gotten the pattern small enough where it should fit now, but I'll have to play with it. And let's see. I can't think of anything else offhand. Oh yeah, there's one more thing. Wednesday, I go live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Jane with Scraptastic Yarns is going to be my guest star. So I'm excited about that. I didn't expect her to say yes when I asked her, but because like some of the bigger channels, you tend not to expect them to say yes, and then like a few of them actually do say yes, and you're like, yay!
That's how I feel about Darla this Friday. I am very excited because I had asked her once before, I think 2 months ago, and she wasn't able to do it then because of stuff going on. And so I waited a little while, asked her again, and she said, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, "Yay!"
And you know what's funny? I actually sent her an email asking if she could come live with me too. And this is before I even knew she was going live with you. But I haven't heard back from her yet, so I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But I do think it's funny how sometimes we'll contact like the same content creator about the same time, and it is not planned.
Yep.
It's like we don't know that like the other one contacted them too. But
Yeah.
anyway, I want to thank
Funny.
Crystal for having me today, and I
You're
think
very welcome.
that's it.
You're very welcome, Connie. And then
Oh,
starting next month, Tuesday the 7th, you'll be back on my channel. And our schedules will change. We won't do every other week on each other's channel. We're going to go to Connie will be on my channel every month at the first Tuesday of the month. And then I will be on her channel the last Wednesday of every month. So we're changing up our schedules so we can have other content creators come in and go live with us. And so we can feature other channels more. Um, yeah. So thank you, everyone. And my mom says, "Oh, Connie, yay about your crochet beanie version." Let's see. Brenda also says, "Good luck with the crochet version." And Kelly says that would be cool. So thank you, everyone, for coming in and talking with us. Have a great Tuesday and look for that new tutorial, which will be out this afternoon sometime. It's for the plastic canvas wind twirlers. So thank you and have a great day, everybody.
bye.